Good evening, everybody. How are we doing out there? Nice to see you. Before I get to my speech, I wanted to welcome everybody. I do want to remind you all that we have severe weather that's going to be passing through the area tonight, and I have great news about that. This building's been standing for the better part of a century, so I imagine we're probably in the right place if a severe storm goes through, but I do want you all to keep that in mind today for when we're traveling out of here. Nothing has started yet, but I do want to remind everybody that's in the forecast. And I am also aware and cognizant that I'm speaking to a bunch of athletes and people who love sports, and your city has been in the news lately about a big development that may be happening. I'm pretty excited about that, right? Bear down, right? I think that I can tell you at this, I've been asked this question and I appreciate it. Are they coming? I feel really good where we're positioned. I know that one thing that makes me feel real good, there's only one offer on the table presented to the Bears right now, and that's from the state of Indiana for the Bears to move to Hammond, Indiana. So that makes me feel good, right? And I also know that even if the state of Illinois tries to match what Indiana put on the table, I do know that in year zero, maybe that's an even deal. Going to be in existence, the Bears would lose billions of dollars if they didn't move to Indiana. So that makes me feel well about the Bears potentially moving here. And it's exciting because that possibility it's a real possibility. And if they move here, it's 2,000 permanent jobs that would create, about 10,000 construction jobs, and about $5 billion of investment into the city of Hammond. To give you a perspective of how much money $5 billion is, currently, the city of Hammond's worth about $4 billion. So it more than double what's going on in the city of Hammond right now. And I imagine next year's Hall of Fame ceremony would probably have a little different ring to it if the Bears did choose us as their ultimate home. So all I can say to everybody is we're probably not going to know anything for at least a month or so because Illinois is trying to match what Indiana already did. But I feel really good about our state and what the governor and the legislature and all of our local officials, the county officials, they came together. You don't see that often in 2026, people coming together for a good thing. And I think all of us here in the region realize that if the Bears do choose us as their next home, that'd be a great thing for Northwest Indiana, but definitely for the city of Hammond. So thank you for asking me so many questions about that. It's my pleasure to be able to update you on it. And I wanted to update you about another thing that's going to change how we do this ceremony every year. I think this is a real positive development, but I wanted to come up here. I was approached by the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Committee with a vision. The vision was to elevate what we do here with the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. And after careful consideration about the request, we agreed that it did make sense, and that's what I'm here to announce. We're going to relocate the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame from the Hammond Civic Center to the Hammond Sportsplex. Okay? Now, I love the Civic Center. And that's what made it so hard. So I want to tell you about how I think this will make you feel better about the whole thing. First off, I did want to point out this was a request by the Sports Hall of Fame Committee. And initially when I heard it, I was like, no way. Love the Civic Center. Everybody loves the Civic Center. But the more we thought about it, it seems like the heart of Hammond Sports right now is at the Hammond Sportsplex. And it's such a beautiful Hall of Fame tribute that we do to all the athletes and all the plaques. I didn't want to take the plaques out of the Civic Center because there's still thousands of people that pass through the Civic Center. So we decided if this was going to work, the best way that it would work is if we duplicated what we have in the Hammond Civic Center and duplicate it at the Sportsplex as well. So we've agreed that that's definitely got to be part of it. And then future inductions are going to take place at the Hammond Sportsplex. Future dinners will take place at the Sportsplex. I know that's sad, but I think it is also movement. It's movement forward. I can tell you one thing about the Hammond Sportsplex. Just about every weekend, there's about 10,000 people that pass through the doors there. We have hundreds of people on a daily basis that go to the second floor of the Sportsplex and walk the track, which is where our Hall of Fame plaques will be located. So I think as far as visibility for our athletes and our great Hammond history, I think it's going to be well served by relocating it to the Hammond Sportsplex. So I did want to come here and explain what was going on. Thank the Hall of Fame Committee for the excellent idea. I hope everybody's positive about this, and I want you to know that this is an important part of our city. This Hall of Fame ceremony and the Hall of Fame plaques That's why we're not just going to take them off the wall and bring them down there. That's why they have to be duplicated. So I hope you understand why we're doing what we're doing. I hope you agree that it is a good move for the future of our Hall of Fame. I did want to say thank you to everybody for coming out, especially to our inductees, Dave Borberly, Charles Cook, Brenda Pennington, Coach Dave Sikowski, and Sanchion White. Thank you very much for what you've done for our city. You put Hammond on the map, each of you individually. This Hall of Fame committee is committed to keeping your stories alive for eternity. And I think any Hammond mayor worth their salt would be doing the same thing I'm doing right now. We're going to duplicate what we have here, and we're going to make it better. So thank you, everybody. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee. Welcome back to the Hammond Civic Center. I'll see you next year at the Hammond Sportsplex. God bless everybody. And bear down, huh?
Thank you, Mayor McDermott, for all of your hard work and effort to bring the Bears here, for all the other hard work and effort things that you do. And while we're on a roll, talking about people with amazing accomplishments in the city of Hammond, would you please welcome the chairman of our steering committee here at the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Wes Lukosius.
Wow. Exciting future here for Hammond Sports, the city of Hammond, Northwest Indiana. We're excited. Our committee's excited. And this is my opportunity to introduce to you the folks behind the scenes who make this Hall of Fame possible in so many ways. It's been my privilege to have served on this Hall of Fame steering committee for each of our inductions. But I can guarantee you that were it not for the contributions of each of our dedicated, passionate committee members, there would not be, or unlikely to be, a Hammond Sports Hall of Fame in the manner that you see it today. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce our hardworking committee members, those who are present this evening. Many of them I suspect you personally or from their contributions know to Hammond Sports. So committee members, as I mention your name, please stand. I know you're scattered all over the gymnasium here tonight, but I'll go in alphabetical order. Juan Alba. If you could hold your applause to the end here, folks, I think it would be in everybody's best interest, but thank you. Allison Buell, Tom Bilek, Jeff Colby, Carol Kaur, Doug Friend, Marie Herring, Anna Mamala, Pat Montalbano, Larry Moore, Paul Mullaney, Ryan Sosnowski, Tom Strabavi, Rick Torres, Dave Warple, and our administrative assistant, Crystal Miranda. And now, if you'd be so kind, I invite your applause to these hardworking people. Thank you all. I'm often asked, how can one be considered for induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame? Indeed, there is a process, and it begins by submitting a completed form for whom you consider worthy. Now, it just so happens we've left a few of those forms on your table tonight, so that if you have someone you'd like to nominate or take the form home with you and complete it and mail it back or drop it back off at the Civic Center, our committee will get it and we'll take it from there. This is the opportunity that you have, and also on our Hammond Sports Hall of Fame website, the URL of which is on the front of your program. You can go online and fill out a form as well. So a nomination form is first base as far as consideration is concerned for Hall of Fame induction. So with that, I invite you to give that consideration. We thank you here tonight. We're virtually sold out, so we welcome you and we're appreciative of your presence tonight. Hope you're enjoying your evening. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my second year on the steering committee. My first year as MC, and thank you, Wes, for assigning me to this duty. I sure appreciate your confidence. Hopefully I don't mess it up too bad. And it's been a distinct pleasure to work with the inductees of the 2006 class. And from a kid who grew up in Hammond, this is kind of like going to Cooperstown. I see some of my childhood sports heroes out in the audience, like Mr. George. I'll never be able to call him by his first name ever, Mr. John George, one of my childhood heroes. Absolutely. Some of my contemporaries like George Leonakis and Peter Vardalich, who over there feverishly voting for the Hammond's greatest achievement. You can cool it on the voting now, guys. So many great people out here and familiar faces. So I would just ask that the inductees of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, please rise if you can and be recognized. Thank you so much. And it's also our practice to offer a moment of silence to those Hall of Famers who have passed away over the last year. So if you'll please indulge me in just a quick moment to recognize them. Thank you. There have been many numerous sports championships celebrated throughout Hammond over the years. And just to name a few, this year commemorates the 45th anniversary of Bishop Knoll's 1981 boys swimming state title. 45th anniversary of that. Absolutely, please. This also marks the 75th, 85th, and 90th anniversary of the Hammond High boys swimming state titles in 1951, 41, and 1936. Awesome. Anybody from those teams here, perhaps? No, that's okay. This is also the 90th anniversary of Hammond High state wrestling title in 1936. And lastly, the 120th anniversary of Hammond High's boys state track and field title in 1906. So a rich history of accomplishments for sure. Absolutely, please. As a steering committee, we sat down and we tried to identify the 5 top contenders for greatest achievement in sports history. And it's probably a good thing we did this promotion before the Bears moved to Hammond, because I got a feeling that would probably outweigh anything anybody else here has done. But on your tables, you'll see a flyer, and it consists of the 1920 Hammond Pros, Hammond's first professional football team, the 1940 Hammond Tech State Championship basketball team, the 1960 to 65 golden era of Hammond football history. Anybody from that era here, perhaps? Okay, we're getting closer. 1972, the Hammond Edison Little League team that went to Williamsport. Anybody here from that team? So anybody here from that team? Yeah, okay, very good. And last but not least, the trio from Hammond High Track of 1975, Kerry Pinkowski, Rudy Chapa, and Tim Keogh. Just amazing athletes for sure. So throughout the night, we invite you to go online and vote. This is your chance to help us select a winner. On your table is a flyer with a QR code. It also has the website listed, so you can go in and vote very quickly. And a little bit later on in tonight's program, we'll be announcing the winner. So at this point in time, I'd like to introduce Carol Core to the podium to present the 35th Annual Anderson-Peterson Family Distinguished Award. Carol.
It is my honor to present the recipients of the 2025 Anderson-Peterson Award, which was established by the family in 1992. The female recipient, Talina Cisneros, is a Hammond Central High School graduate. She participated in volleyball, earning 3 varsity letters, and all-conference her junior and senior years. In softball, her junior year, she earned a varsity letter and was all-conference. In 2025, she earned academic All-State, an honors diploma, and was a scholar athlete. Her community service contributions included church group events and the volleyball team community service hours. School organizations included the National Honor Society, Natural Helpers, and she was a class officer. She attends the United States Naval Academy Prep School. Accepting her award on her behalf are her parents, Rosalinda and Fausto Cisneros. Ezekiel Zucky is a Bishop Mill Institute graduate. He competed in 4 sports: soccer, track and field, football, and volleyball. He was the 2025 salutatorian, graduated with distinction, academic All-State, and the 2024 academic All-Conference in football, soccer, and volleyball. In addition, he was named a 2024 Indiana Colts Academic All-Star. Community service included volunteering for the People's Turkey Drive, as well as CYO volleyball games, the blood bank, and a food pantry during the summer in Ohio. He attends DePaul University on a scholarship, and accepting his award on his brother's behalf is his younger brother, Zeb. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And now, as we continue our program, I'd like to ask the induction honorees and representatives to temporarily leave your seats and proceed to the unveiling of the 2026 plaque. Let's hear it for our class. You want me down there? Congratulations. And how about a big round of applause for our photographer, Mr. Jake Jacobs, for telling me what to do. Thanks, Jake. I'm new at this. And kudos to Ray Escamilla of Greenleaf Studios for his creative work on the display. And now, inductees, please take your seats and make yourselves comfortable, and we'll get started with the presentations. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our first inductee to the podium today, Dave Borbley. Dave and I went to school together. A couple things I can say about him, unrelated to his most impressive coaching resume, which is, part of it is in the program, but he would probably need an entire program to use his accomplishments to be filled in. One thing I could say about Dave is his grit, his toughness. We played high school baseball together, and anybody who played baseball at Hammond High knows that when you take the infield, you pretty much take your life into your own hands. There's many things that could go wrong out there. Well, Dave was the third baseman. I was playing first base. Hard smash to third base, took a wicked hop, came up and hit Dave right in the eye, ripped his wire rim glasses right off, smashed them. His eye immediately swelled up with a huge shiner. He went down for maybe 30 seconds, got up, picked up his glove, put his cap on, and stayed in the game. Played ball with one eye, stayed in the game. Never saw anything like that before. Most of us would have been home wailing on the couch, having our moms make us some soup. But stayed in there. That's terrific. What really impresses me about Dave is this. I work as a business coach, and I speak with people pretty much every day who toil in their jobs. Some of them like their jobs. Some of them hate their jobs. Some of them are just indifferent, but they do the best they can. And it inspires me when I see someone who sets out with a goal and pursues their passion, and not just pursues their passion, but makes a more than adequate living doing it. Makes things go very quickly and makes life much, much more pleasurable. And that's one thing that Dave has done. Is he came out of school, worked as a graduate assistant, and embarked on a coaching career that lasted 40 years. And as we talked about before, he's never really punched a clock or taken any grief from his boss. And if he did, he would go to another college and do his exemplary coaching there. So ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome 2026 inductee to the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, Dave Borbley.
Thank you. Tom left out the part about all the blood, and he wasn't there when they took me to the hospital, and they were pulling, because in those days the lenses were glass, and they were pulling glass shards out from around my eye, and I was letting the expletives fly, I can tell you that. So I think, we're all old enough to know what a road trip is. And in 1981, I packed a U-Haul about 1.5 miles from here, and I took a road trip to what was then the University of Evansville to start a graduate assistant job in football. And I just didn't know that it was going to take 45 years before it ended. And I just made it back to Hammond Sunday. And the reason that happened was because of this induction ceremony. And I can't express how thankful I am to the committee for this induction. And they asked me in an interview earlier, they said, how would you describe this? And the only words, or really word that comes to mind is I'm so humbled to have my name spoken in the same breath as 40 years worth of great people and great athletes and these other 4 inductees. And a big thank you to the committee. A heartfelt thanks. I can't express what that means to me. To the other inductees, congratulations. I've read your bios, and this induction for you is certainly well deserved. I'd like to give a shout out quickly to some family members that have supported me for a long, long time. My brother Tom and his wife Connie are over there at table 2. My sister-in-law Karen came up from Indianapolis. My oldest son and his wife Samantha, Joe and Samantha could not be here. They're in Phoenix. They've got 3 little ones, so they've got their hands full. And then my daughter Laura and her husband Stephen came in from Denver, as did my youngest son Brian, his wife Jessica, and the newest addition to their family, Cleo, our 5-month-old granddaughter. You know, life is full of choices and decisions. And I'm going to tell you this quick story. In the fall, actually November, it was the day before Thanksgiving of 1994. I had jobs at Rice, Temple, and now we were at Tulane. And I was going into my 3rd year. And we had just finished the season. We just finished year 3. We had just purchased our first home June of 94. So that evening, around dinner time, I guess, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Tyrone Willingham. Some of you hardcore Notre Dame guys will recognize that name. So Ty called me and he said, Borbs, he goes, I'm going to be named the head coach at Stanford. He said, I'd like you to be my offensive line coach. He said, what do you think? And I said, Ty, I'd love to. I said, but, you know, Bev, who has been with me for 40 years and has got my wife and has guided many of those decisions, I said, I have to run this through Bev and make sure she wants to go. He said, okay. He said, call me back when you're ready. I said, give me 15 minutes. So I went into the kitchen, and again, it was the night before Thanksgiving, and the kids were like 5, 3, and 1. And it was very chaotic, and I said, honey, Tyrone Willingham just called me. He's going to get the Stanford job. He wants me to be his offensive line coach. I said, what do you think? You want to go to California? I said, what do you think about going to California? And she looked me straight in the eye. The kids were screaming, and I'll let you fill in the blank. She said, no blanking way. She goes, are you kidding me? She goes, Borbs, we just bought this house 6 months ago. There's no way we can do that. She goes, I'm not going to California. If you go to California, you're going on your own. I said, okay. I said, I'll call Ty. So I went back to my office, and I got to tell you, I prayed for about 10 minutes. I was like, God, please help me make the right decision, because she does not want to go. And I called Tyrone back in 15 minutes, and he said, Borbs, what'd she say? I said, Ty, she's thrilled. She can't wait to get to California. And when do you need me there? And that's a true story. And Bev and I met, and she's been with me every step of the way. We celebrated our 40th anniversary in July, and thank you. Now that I'm retired and home every day, it's kind of day to day right now. So, God willing, we'll make 41. But that move set me on a path of great institutions, great coaches, some excellent players, and really it's probably, as I thought about it, the reason I'm standing here today. So thank you to everyone for supporting us. Again, thank you to the committee. This is a tremendous honor.
Way to go, boys. Way to go.
Congratulations, Dave. Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Richard J. Special Achievement Award honors individuals or organizations for distinguished support, promotion, or service to Hammond athletics. Named after the longtime Gavitt High coach, Richard J., the award recognizes dedication to community sports, with past recipients including local media outlets and superfans. This year's recipient of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Richard J. Special Achievement Award is the Hammond Alumni Association, a 501c3 not-for-profit organization that raises scholarships for Hammond students. Founded in 2015 by Jeff Colby and Billy Markovich, it started as a tailgate for Hammond High class reunion. In 2016, the group was named Hammond Alumcats as a 501c3 entity. 2017 was their first golf outing. The tradition continued until Hammond High was replaced with by Hammond Central in 2020. The name was then changed to Hammond Alumni Association to also include Hammond Morton. Since their inception, they've given out approximately $15,000 to deserving Hammond students in scholarship money. Accepting the award is co-founder and my friend, Jeff Colby.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to give thanks to the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame committee and congratulations to all the inductees that are on my right-hand side. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for allowing my association to receive the Richard J. Achievement Award. We started out, like Tom was saying, as a phone call. I got a phone call from Dr. Billy Markovich. He wanted to do an honor to our former teammate of ours who passed away at halftime of a game his senior year on September 1st of 1979, George Carpenter, who was beloved by all of us who played with him in New George. We started it that way. We presented Hammond High with a plaque that was in honor of George. We were then joined with us were 20 or so former students and coaches that had coached George in New George. That's how things started. Then we started a tailgate, and we came up with the concept of doing a golf outing to start raising money for scholarships for the students of Hammond High, actually, and we were the Hammond Alumcats. I was blessed with a scholarship to play football in Montana, and I know how it is to not have money to be able to go to school. So we try to honor these kids and give them an opportunity to pursue their further education. After that, we started doing the golf outings and started raising funds for that. This year we're doing something different. We're also doing Hammond Morton and Hammond Central as well, but we're doing some mini scholarships. We're going to be honoring the kids at Scott Middle School as well as Eggers Middle School. They're going to get about 4 or 5 of those mini scholarships. I'm going to correct Tom, we've given out over $20,000 in scholarships over the last 7 or 8 years. And right now, I'm stepping down as president. We're going to have a new president, but we have some members here with us. I want them to stand up. We have Miss Sonia Payton Jackson. She's a day one person. Miss Leslie Campbell. And the new president is Miss Arian Taylor. We're a small group, but we do a lot of big things. And I mean small in numbers, but we're big in how we get down. On your tables, you'll see flyers advertising for our golf outing this year. A lot of you here have already participated in our golf outings and have donated your time, your money, and your efforts to help see us succeed, and we appreciate you. So we want you to see you come out, and the ones who haven't participated, we definitely want you to come out as well. Once again, I want to thank everybody, the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, for this opportunity and this award, and thank you and have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Jeff, and congratulations. And Jeff, you did such a great job with that. I'd like to ask you to stay here at the podium, and if you would, please introduce our next inductee.
All right, I'm back on the mic. This next inductee, I've known her since she was a baby. But before I give my introduction of her, I'm going to read a letter that was sent by the University of South Carolina's women head coach, Ms. Dawn Staley. It reads, Sanchion, what an incredible honor for you. I'm so thankful for you sharing part of your journey to the Hall of Fame status with us in South Carolina. You took a chance on our program when it wasn't a popular thing to do. Before we had done a lot of winning, but you saw what we were trying to build, and you boldly signed up to help us become what we were striving for. And wow, did you make a difference. In your first season, we didn't just get to the NCAA tournament and the first time in 9 seasons, but we made it all the way to the Sweet 16. Together, we did things that no one outside of our locker room expected us to do. Those years changed everything for the trajectory of South Carolina women's basketball, and you are right there at the base of it. You are the ultimate competitor and a total team player. Combinations that take incredible maturity and confidence. Your ability to set the tone and example in the locker room was invaluable to establishing the culture and the standards that set our program apart to this day. I knew you were a quiet soul who made a big impact on those around you, and you have carried that into your life after basketball beautifully. That alone makes you a Hall of Famer. I'm so happy that you are being celebrated with this honor today, and I'm incredibly proud of you and forever part of your Gamecock family. We love you, Sanchion. Coach Dawn Staley. Now, like I was saying, I've known this young lady since she was a baby. It's truly my pleasure to watch her grow up to become a wonderful person, while at the same time become one of the toughest basketball players I've ever seen in the state of Indiana. I'm not just saying it because I know her, I'm saying it because it's true. From Maywood Park to Eggers, from my house, where she would be playing against guys and telling these guys what she's gonna do, how she's gonna make a move on them, and then she would execute the move. And it was just phenomenal. And these are guys that were way older than her. It was like, this girl's got it. And while at Hammond High, she continued to develop her game and her reputation, earning the nickname B Street. B Street. She grew up on Becker Street, not too far from this facility right here. Just a few short blocks. She was a lockdown defender, coming up with key steals and huge rebounds in every game she played in. She was, as well as being a leader and a big-time scorer for Hammond High. I had a front row seat at all her Hammond High games, and I was cheering her on as much as I could. Some of the people around me would get upset because I was so loud with it. At Central Arizona, I didn't get to see her play live, but I was at my computer screen every game she was at and watching her. And then I got to watch her on television as she did her same magical moves and defense at the University of South Carolina. I used to always tease her saying that she was the second best athlete in our family, but she surpassed me a long time ago. So without further ado, I'd like to present for induction to the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, my little cousin, Sanchion White.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to start by giving all glory and thanks to God. None of this would be possible without His guidance, His grace, and the many blessings He's placed in my life. I want to thank the committee for selecting me for this honor. It truly means a lot, and I'm grateful that you consider my journey worthy of being remembered this way. I also want to recognize the other inductees. Been honored tonight by being included alongside such talented and accomplished individuals is truly humbling, and it's an honor to share this moment with you all. Standing here tonight is honestly something I never imagined when I first started playing the game. Like most kids, I just love to compete and the feeling of working towards something bigger than myself. Being inducted into this Hall of Fame is an incredible honor, but the truth is the recognition isn't just about me. It represents a lot of people who invested their time, belief, and energy into my dream. I want to thank my family, my brothers and sisters who supported me every step of the way, and especially Brandy and Tay, who didn't miss a single home or away game. Your presence meant more to me than you probably realize. And I especially want to thank my mom. Thank you for raising me the way you did, teaching me to stay humble, to listen, to take direction, and to always respect the people who are trying to help you grow. Those values allow me to be coached, to keep learning, and to never think I had it all figured out. That foundation you gave me meant everything to me. Also want to recognize B. Lynn, who poured so much into me during my early years, from those personal training sessions at Memorial and Maywood Park, working on my form and footwork. You helped build the foundation that I carried with me throughout my career. At the time, I didn't fully understand how important those moments were, but looking back now, I truly do. The fundamentals you instilled in me at such a young age mean more to me than you will ever know. Coach Will and the Chicago Fire coaches who will come pick me up after school, drop all the way from Chicago to Indiana just to take me back for AAU practice, and then drive all the way back again and drop me off. That level of dedication and belief in me is something I'll never forget. Also want to thank my coaches, Coach Chase, who pushed me, challenged me, and demanded more from me than sometimes I demanded for myself. Many people probably don't know this, but I actually ran cross country in the fall to prepare for basketball season in winter. Looking back on it now, I'm starting to think that may have been your way of making sure I was actually running year round. But those early mornings and extra miles taught me discipline and work ethic. Coach Chase, thank you for instilling that in me. It's a big part of who I am today, although I still try to avoid running whenever I can. I also want to thank Coach Gooch. She taught me what hard work really looks like and what it means to never give up. One thing she always made clear, though, that good was never good enough. She never allowed us to get complacent. If we won by 10, she'd remind us that we were capable of winning by 50. And that's the standard we should hold ourselves to. I remember when recruits would come to visit and real scrimmage them. Sometimes I'd take it easy on them and let them get a few buckets. Coach Gooch would immediately yell from the sideline, "Senchi, what are you doing? Trying out?" From that point on, anytime she felt like I wasn't giving my full effort, whether it was practice or an actual game, you would hear her yell very loud, "Senchi is trying out." Every time she said that, it lit fire under me and pushed me to go harder. Coach Gooch, thank you for always reminding me to never try out, but to show up ready, work hard, and give my best in everything I do. That mindset you instilled in me is something I've carried with me from far beyond basketball and into the way I live my life today. I also want to thank Coach Don Staley. When I first arrived at the University of South Carolina, I thought I already knew what hard work was. I thought I had already pushed myself as far as I could go. But when I got there, I quickly realized I hadn't. Coach Staley pushed me in ways I didn't know I could be pushed. She challenged me not only as a player, but as a person. She taught me how to compete, how to stay poised under pressure, how to walk into a room with confidence, and still remain humble enough to keep growing. I remember one day we were in the gym and just shooting around, and she looked at me and said, "Sanchi, I wish I had you for 4 years." That moment stayed with me, not because it was praise, but because it reminded me of something bigger. The impact a coach can have when they see something in you and refuse to let you settle for anything less than what you're capable of. Coach Staley saw something in me that pushed me to demand more for myself. She helped shape the way I approach opportunities, the way I carry myself, and the way I show up in life today. Coach, what you represent goes far beyond basketball. You represent leadership, strength, discipline, and the ability to pour into people in a way that can truly change their lives. And I'm grateful that you poured some of that into me. Because great coaches teach you how to play the game, but the truly special ones help shape the person you become long after the game is over. Coach, thank you for being one of those people in my life. To my teammates, you know the truth. None of this happens alone. The wins, the battles, the practice, those moments are shared. Some of my best memories come from competing alongside you all. Basketball gave me more than just memories on the court. It taught me resilience, teamwork, and the value of pushing through challenges, lessons that continue to shape who I am today. So to be recognized here tonight means a great deal to me. If there's one thing I've learned through this journey, is that success is never achieved alone. It's built through the support, guidance, and belief of the people around you. So tonight, while my name may be the one being recognized, this honor belongs to everyone who was part of this journey. Thank you for this incredible honor.
Thank you and congratulations, Sanchian. Just a real quick read here from another testimonial. Her character did not go unnoticed. When Dawn Staley began recruiting her, she shared something unforgettable. She said Sanchion was not just the kind of player you build a team around, she was the kind of person you build a program around. She would become a foundation of culture at the University of South Carolina and a pillar of what a championship program represents. So for those who may be unfamiliar with women's college basketball, University of South Carolina and Dawn Staley is just about as good as it gets. So congratulations to Sanchion. Awesome. And now I'd like to introduce to the podium Mr. Paul Delaney for a very special engagement activity, and also to introduce our next inductee. Paul Delaney, ladies and gentlemen.
How are we doing tonight? Everybody good? All right, so the committee wanted to do something a little different this year, just for a few minutes to have a little fun. So at everybody's table, you should have seen a stack of these multiple choice answers, the letters A through D. So we're going to do a little Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Trivial Pursuit kind of thing here, just to see how we do in that. See who knows their Hammond Sports Hall of Fame trivia. So we asked each table to designate one person to hold up the cards when the questions are asked. They're all multiple choice. You have 4 answers. And don't hold up your card with the answer until we ask you to do so. So, we clear on that? So without further ado, here we go. Question number 1. This 4-sport Hammond Tech standout was a football lineman and a teammate of Bear Bryant on the University of Alabama's 1935 Rose Bowl winning national championship squad. Was it, and don't shut out the answer, you gotta just keep it at your table. Was it A, Carl Huffine, B, John Fetzko, C, Bill Peters, or D, George Sobek? A, Carl Huffine, B, John Fetzko, C, Bill Peters, and D, George Sobek. Final answer time. Show us your cards. This was old news. I see a few of the C's are correct. So the C's have it. And by the way, your prize for getting the right answers is just the satisfaction of getting that answer. All right, next up. This Parade Magazine All-American High School quarterback passed on football and went on to play Major League Baseball for a World Series champion. Was it A, Bob Guzek, B, Darrell Chaney, C, Bob Anderson, or D, Johnny Masto? Once again, A, Bob Guzek, B, Darrell Chaney, C, Bob Anderson, and D, Johnny Masto. Time to show your answers. Boy, that's unanimous. We got a lot of Morgan people in the crowd here. Darrell Chaney. Okay, next one. This former Clark High School basketball standout was a second-team All-American at Ohio State. After helping lead the Buckeyes to an Elite Eight NCAA berth, he played 4 years in the NBA with the Boston Celtics. Was it A, Larry Jackson, B, Bob Donham, C, Rodney Ford, or D, Larry Little? Once again, A, Larry Jackson, B, Bob Donham, C, Rodney Ford, and D, Larry Little. Time to show your answers. I'm looking for a correct one and I don't see one. It was B, Bob Donham. So you gotta go back to your 1950 college teams. All right, we got a couple more. After a standout football career at Bishop Knoll and at Notre Dame, he played 6 years in the NFL, competing in Super Bowl IV. Was it A, Don Brum, B, Mike McGill, C, Irv Cross, or D, Mike Graney? Once again, Don Brum, A, B is Mike McGill, C is Irv Cross, and D is Mike Graney. Time to show your answers. All right, we see a lot of them out there. B is correct. Mike McGill played for the Minnesota Vikings in Super Bowl IV. All right. This might be a challenge, but we got a lot of Hammond High people here, so that you might get this. As a golfer at Northwestern University, this Hammond High alumnus defeated fellow Big Ten competitor Jack Nicklaus. Was it A, Mike Laleth, Tom Granick, C, Godfrey Labda, or D, Nick Egnatz? Once again, A, Mike Laleth, B, Tom Granick, C, Godfrey Labda, or D, Nick Egnatz? Show us your answers. All right, I see some B's. B's are correct. Tom Granick. All right, one more to go. One more to go. His outstanding play at first base prompted his college coach to move teammate and eventual major league first baseman Moose Skowron to shortstop. Was it A, Johnny Mostel, B, Darrell Chaney, C, Joe Baliga, or D, Norm Bannis? Once again, A, Johnny Mostel, B, Darrell Chaney, C, Joe Baliga, or D, Norm Bannis? Show us your answers. Well, there's a good number of them. It's D, it's Norm Bannis. Graduate of Clark and a long-time Gavitt High School baseball coach. So give yourselves a round of applause. All right, you want that back next year? Is that fun? All right. Okay. So as Tom mentioned, I'm also here to introduce our next inductee tonight. So I was blessed to see virtually every high school basketball game that Brenda Pennington played, as I had two daughters who were Brenda's teammates at Bishop Knoll. And it was evident from game one, as a freshman in November of 2012, her very first game, that Knoll had something really special. Brenda, that first game rookie, played all 4 quarters and scored 18 points in a winning Clark. Just a few weeks later, she logged her first game-winning high school buzzer beater against Morton. And in a testament to her drive and her talent, this freshman point guard, who at the time on the roster was listed as 5'2", she scored at the buzzer after fighting to obtain a rebound. It was always clear Brenda would go on to do great things on the court. And you can read in the program about her many accomplishments at Bishop Knoll, at Owens Community College in Ohio, and then at William Penn University in Iowa. MVPs, sectional titles, conference titles, and All-American honors at the junior college and the NAIA levels. We can talk about her being the 3rd highest scorer in Knowles girls basketball history. We could talk about her dropping 30 points in the sectional championship game her senior year. We can talk about a whole lot of things, but I think arguably the statistic that might be the most impressive is that in her team's 229 games in high school and college, Brenda only missed 2 games due to illness or injury. You couldn't keep her off the floor. She refused to let her team down by sitting out. Once in a game in East Chicago, she was fouled so hard that she lost a tooth and a good bit of blood on the court. She didn't have the eyebrow the day that, but it was quite alarming. And she came off the court long enough for the bleeding to stop and just insisted on getting back in the game because, why? Because her team needed her. She was very selfless and very dependable in that regard. It's no surprise that of those 229 games in her career, based on what she contributed, Brenda was on the winning end 186 times. That's a career winning percentage of more than 81%. She was a quiet leader, probably as quiet a leader as you will find. She certainly walked the walk, but you never heard her talk the talk. There was no ego. She led solely with her actions and her ability to make her teammates better and more involved. She could be the consummate floor general and rack up assists with her great court vision. She could score when needed too. And at the other end, she was a great defender without getting in foul trouble. In fact, in 3 of her seasons at Bishop Knoll, she did not foul out in a single game. And that's by someone who led the team in minutes played. Having worked as a sports writer early in my career, I have attended more games than I can count. I've been fortunate to cover the Super Bowl, the NCAA tournament, high school state championships right on down the line. And I've attended countless high school basketball games, boys and girls, here in the region. So I've seen the best of the best. And suffice it to say that in her arena, in her league, our next inductee is among the best of the best. And I present for induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, Brenda Pennington.
Good evening. Thank God for allowing me to be here. It's been a blessing to play the game I love. I just wanted to come up here and make sure I acknowledge everybody who took part in the journey. First, I want to thank all my teammates. We made a lot of memories, had a lot of fun, and accomplished some things I hold on to forever. Thank you to my coaches for helping me find my voice and caring about me in and outside of basketball. I want to thank my family. From top to bottom, you all always showed up and showed out, and that's to this day, and that means everything to me. And a special thank you to my mom and dad. For all the sacrifices y'all made for me, the early mornings, the long drives, the money spent, the continuous confidence, support, and belief in me. I appreciate y'all more than I can ever put into words. Lastly, thanks to everybody who's shown love and took the time to come out tonight. I don't take any of this for granted. Basketball has given me so much, and I'm truly grateful for this recognition. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Brenda, and thank you, Paul. So how is your evening going so far? A, it's a good night. B, a great night. Or C, the greatest night of your life. I see unanimous C's out here. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. I take a little credit for that. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Pat Montalbano to the podium for a very special award. Very special. Pat.
Thank you. Good evening. A person who receives a Lifetime Achievement Award is an individual recognized for a career of profound significance, characterized by sustained excellence and a lasting impact in their field, community, and organization. Tonight's Lifetime Achievement Award winner is a man who was a passionate and talented multi-sport athlete, a sports writer for the Times, whose knowledge and engrossing narratives painted a vivid picture of action and intriguing stories. The host of Sports Insights at Purdue Cal for WJOB, highlighting local high school and college athletes and programs, and a 40-year career marked by exceptional dedication integrity, leadership, and unwavering commitment to excellence while serving as our committee for the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. He's a founding father in the truest sense. He helped plant the seeds of the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. In 1987, a vision was born to ensure that Hammond's greatest athletes and athletic achievements would never be forgotten. At the center of that vision was tonight's honoree. Tonight, Tom Bilick, who has produced all our videos tonight, I don't know if you noticed, they're excellent quality. He's produced a special one for tonight's honoree for the Lifetime Achievement Award. If you look to the right here, we should have the video of his career. Wes, being a modest and humble man, has fought our committee for over 5 years on receiving this award. But now, since he's retiring as a chairman, he has no power over us, and we can acknowledge his outstanding contributions to the City of Hammond athletics. Before I welcome Wes to the podium, I would like to acknowledge his wife, Betty. Please stand up. His 2 sons, Josh and Tim, and his guests at the table. As a friend and a colleague, please join me in congratulating Hall of Famer Wes Kochis as our Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Wow. I want to thank Pat, who's pinch hitting for Marie Herring, who has a bit of a scratchy voice tonight, and Tom Bilek with a video presentation. Proof positive that all three of you are extremely gifted at applying lipstick onto this proverbial pig. As honored as I am to receive this award, my committee colleagues who made it happen also know how uncomfortable it has made me. So I'm not really sure what to say. Well, I kind of do, because I have prepared some remarks. But not to worry, I am sure, well, pretty sure, I will not take any longer than the President did delivering his recent State of the Union address. Seriously, I am humbled to become the third recipient of this award, following legendary Bernie Kruger and girls sports pioneer Margaret Kelly. Lifetime achievement, to me, suggests having done something worthy, great, noble, but I have not done any of that. I have just had fun. As a Hessville kid, I dreamt of becoming a Morton athlete. I relished open gym on winter Saturdays, shooting hoops at rims with nylon nets attached. Summers, I cherished playing baseball at Hessville Park on whatever sliver of ground my buddies and I could lay claim to. And during early August evenings, I joined what seemed like half of Hessville at the park to watch Maurice Lotnick's latest football team practice. Eventually, my time to compete in 3 high school sports would come. And when my playing days gave way to writing and broadcasting about sports for the Times and then WJOB, my fun continued. Following a career move into higher education, I cherished my 32 years broadcasting the Purdue Calumet Sports Insight weekly radio program. And for the past 40 years, I have been blessed to serve with some of the finest of God's human creatures, highlighting Hammond's sports legacy through this Hall of Fame. In 1986, when then Mayor Tom McDermott Sr. sought to launch a Hammond Sports Hall of Fame, he assigned the task to his park superintendent, Pat Moore. Pat asked then Purdue Cal Athletic Director, John Friend, to help. John, as he often did, invited me to join the party. And my wife Betty and sons Tim and Josh patiently allowed me. Through 40 inductions, I've had a ball, embracing Hammond's historic sports culture. What this Lifetime Achievement Award means to me is that life is full of God-given opportunities to be the best we can be, furthering the good we can do. In closing, it's not as though I plan to be here as long as I have been, nor do I wish to hang around in quest of one more win. My God above has equipped me with everything I need to serve, to help, to give. His plan for me, indeed. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Wes, and well deserved. And now I'd like to introduce one Hammond sports legend to introduce our next Hammond sports inductee legend. Would you please welcome to the podium, Larry Moore.
Thank you, Tom. It's going to be kind of hard to follow all these speeches. I'll tell you what, they were amazing. Congratulations to all the inductees. I'm proud of every last one of you. It's my pleasure to introduce who I feel is probably one of the best athletes that ever came through Hammond High. Football, basketball. He was a little bit behind me, but you know, he was always around. He was just one of those guys that worked so hard. Not only just as an athlete, he was a good person. He was a good individual growing up, and as he became grown, and he went on in life, went off to college and so on, and I'll explain that to you in a minute, but I have to say a little bit more than I have in my speech. So I have to say something about this individual because he was a person that he came back and he gave back to the city of Hammond with pride until he retired, and I'm so proud of him. There's one thing that him and I have in common. We have a record at Spohn Middle School in the 60-yard dash. I think it was 5'9", and it will never be broken because they closed the school down, so nobody ever broke that record. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. This individual is a 1977 graduate of Hammond High School. He was an outstanding athlete in football and basketball, football and track. He went on to University of Western New Mexico, where he started in football and track. And he was just an individual that was just as great at everything he did. It is my pleasure to introduce the Charles Cook.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to give great thanks to my family that pushing me and staying behind me and motivating me to do this. I love you guys and thank you very much. I also like to thank two guys for getting my name in, Richard Hudson and Rudy Chapa. Two wonderful persons that I enjoyed having company with, especially Rudy, which is my brother-in-law. And also, I'd like to thank my brother firefighters who are here. Thank you guys for showing up and showing me a little support. I love you guys. It's good. Yes. I like to say a little bit, tell you a story how all this got started. Okay, right back to Maywood School. Maywood School, at lunchtime, they did not have, on the playground, it wasn't a fenced area. It was open, so we weren't allowed to have any balls or anything on the field because obviously it goes in the street and cause headaches. So what the guys and I would do, we had our milk cartons that we had for lunch, and we would put sand and rocks and things in them, and we would play football, run up and down the playground. That's how I knew and become, hey, I got a little speed here. I'm faster than a lot of these guys. So that went on there. Then I went off to Spohn, and which was a beautiful, I mean, I'm from New Orleans, so I moved up here when I was like 11 years old. It was just amazing when I went to Spohn School to show how competitive things were, because obviously they had all the sports, football, basketball, wrestling, and then track. And like I said, it was just amazing how I realized, it's like, man, this isn't bad. And then leaving Spohn School off to Hammond High, which had some great accomplishments there at Hammond High. Again, class of 77, the group of guys I went to school with, which are here, it's just amazing how the bond we had, and we still have it right now. Dave Worbley and I, we come out of Hammond High at the same time, and it was a wonderful thing. And then also off to Western New Mexico. And I'll tell you how I got to western New Mexico. One of the favorite guys I just adored him very much. I was working out in the park, and this car pulled up, and this guy, hey, obviously, how you doing? How would you like, they were starting a new football, had a new football coach, and was starting not a new program, but just a new coach there. I would love to go there, right? Raymond Cross made some calls for me, and Beatrice and I, my wife, we went down to Western to visit, and I mean, it was beautiful. And the coach told me, hey, we like you, you know, you think you're pretty, good kid. You come down, you make the team, and we'll give you a scholarship. I'm like, this is unreal. So, by God, I went there, I made the team. Here I am. They were wonderful. I played football and ran track and did some wonderful things there. So it was really great. And I'd like to also thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me part of this family of athletes. And it's a wonderful thing. Will always be something that I could enjoy along with my kids and grandkids and all of us. So thank you all very much, and it's been a beautiful evening. Thank you.
Hammond Sports royalty, to be sure. Charles Cook, congratulations. And now a special announcement, the award of the Hammond's Greatest Sports Achievement Award. We're ready to announce the winner. I'd like to say that the voting was close, but I'd be lying to you. It was a landslide. I'm very pleased to announce the winner is the 1975 Hammond High track trio of Kerry Pinkowski, Rudy Chapa, and Tim Keogh. These three were amazing runners, to be sure. And as I look at my friend Dave Parker in the audience here, one of those who was also a great runner who was overshadowed, he just never got the press because he had those three to deal with. Incredible, but that whole team was just absolutely amazing. I tried cross country for about 3 days, and we all started out at the same time, and those guys took off, and I got a cramp in my side, and I went back to the locker room, and that was the end of that. Anyway, we're very fortunate to have such great Hammond sports achievements, but we're also honored to have one of the attendees from our winning team here to join us tonight. So I'm very pleased to welcome to the podium, as sort of a surprise visitor. Would you please welcome Hammond High track legend and also Executive Director of the Chicago Bank of America Marathon, Mr. Kerry Pinkowski. I thought he'd be faster.
Hey, Tom, how are you? Hey, how are you? How are you? How are you? Wow, what an honor. Real quick, it's just so nice to be back here in this grand building with such history and so many familiar faces. And reflecting back, Charles, a teammate of mine when we were at Hammond High, which is great. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the inductees tonight. Amazing careers. Larry Moore, classmate of mine, it's memory lane here. You know, for us, it's amazing that what we did 51 years ago, you know, that it still stands the test of time, that people still talk about it. I guess when you live in an age where the athletes are bigger and stronger and faster and have better facilities, something that's absolute in the absolute barometer is the track, and that stands the test of time, and you can make those comparisons. And we were fortunate enough to have an amazing coach and an amazing ecosystem around us. Charles mentioned his family, but Rudy Chappa, my teammate, his sisters are here, Maria and Beatrice and their families, and Tom Keogh, Tim Keogh's brother is with us tonight, and they were all part of that. We worked very, very, very hard. When I tell my kids that we worked out 13 times a week, twice a day, 5:30 in Maywood Park, back at 3:30, 6 days a week, and we had one option on Sunday, which was kind of a relaxed run, but couldn't do it without, we were all part of the Hammond Public School system, our teachers, our coaches, everybody that contributed to that, and the individual that made it all possible is here tonight, our coach, Dan Candiano. And long evening, I know it's a long evening with a lot of great accomplishments, but he instilled in us, and I still rely on that today, hard work and commitment and investing in yourself and doing the things that you need to do to be good. It pays off. And the athletes that were around us, we were just talking, Dennis Cordell was really the first one that really broke through for us. Dave Contle, great 800-meter runner, went on to Indiana. Dan Chumley, John Roper. Those guys, every day we had that nucleus guys that showed up to work out. So it's been an honor and privilege for me to be part of this great tradition, and it lives on. And to spend the evening with Coach Candiano and to be part of this amazing tradition. I live a charmed life. I work on the Bank of America Chicago Marathon, so I still work in running and get to work with athletes and some of the finest athletes in the world. So it continues on. But every day at 3 o'clock, I think about those guys. I think about Coach. We would go out we would be at the park. When I do decide to get up and run in the morning, I still have to lay my stuff beside the bed, my shoes beside the bed. When you get up, that's the first thing you step into because you know you're going to go work out. But it paid great dividends for us. So I'm just honored that we won this award. There's so many great performances, and to thank the committee in West. Congratulations to keep this great tradition moving forward. Hammond's an amazing place, and it's a wonderful place to grow up, and so many wonderful people I've been around. So thank you for voting for us, okay? Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kerry. Thank you for all the great things you're continuing to do. And now, as we approach the, I don't want to call it the climax of the evening, because we've had so many great honorees here tonight. We do have one more inductee, and I'd like to welcome Ryan Sosnowski to the podium to introduce our final inductee.
Hammond is one of Indiana's great sports cities. Many of those achievements are commemorated through plaques that honor the true trailblazers of Hammond. Trailblazers who tonight include all of you. One such trailblazer is Coach Dave Sitkowski. He is known as the godfather or the sodfather of summer baseball in Hammond. Dave founded one of the nation's premier travel baseball organizations and transformed Riverside Park into a top Midwest ballpark. As a coach, he instilled a relentless fighting spirit in his teams, whether they competed across the country or in Dodgeville, Wisconsin. More importantly, he shaped young athletes into responsible and accomplished men. His greatest legacy lives in the middle school basketball games he officiated, the students he taught in Hammond for over 30 years, the hours spent driving the team to games in his minivan, also the miles he traveled to support former players at the next level or to celebrate their wedding. And lastly, the scholarships awarded in memory of a chief gone too soon, Tony Clasia. His impact on this community is lasting. It is undeniable. Let me give one last example of Dave's character. Tim Dobbins, please stand up. Come on, stand up. Dave chauffeured this man across the country for over 30 years just so Dobbs could support the program. That's loyalty. That's selflessness. And if you know Dobbs, that's a lot of patience. Trust me. All right, sit down now. That is why tonight the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame has found its chief. It is with great pride that I introduce Coach Dave Sitkowski for his induction into the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame class of 2026. Pretty good save.
I'm going to hold this. Thank you, Ryan, for that great introduction, and thank you for all you've done for our program over the last few years. Much appreciated. Save Sitkowski. I think that's why a lot of guys came out here tonight, especially our former players. If you saw the article in the paper when they announced the Sports Hall of Fame inductees this year, they had the pictures in there. And under mine, it wasn't Dave Sitkowski, it was Save Sitkowski. So I think it's really appropriate that so many guys showed up thinking that I was going to be saved tonight. I want to congratulate the fellow Hall of Fame inductees, well deserved. And I want to thank the Hammond Sports Hall of Fame Committee. Being a Hammond guy my entire life, and walking around this Civic Center and seeing 40 years of history here, it's amazing. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for the consideration and for this induction tonight. I want to thank my family who's here. They all showed up in Hammond Chief jerseys. I don't know where they got them from, but I want you to know I want them back. To my brothers, Tim and Scott Sitkowski, to my sister, Karen Belot, to my brother-in-law, Bruce Belot, thank you for all being here tonight. And to my 85-year-old Uncle Pat, a staple of our program for 30 years, thank you for all you've done for our program. Can't even begin to start where you've helped us so much over the years. Thank you for being here. My career started out because I had great mentors. And I want to recognize those guys because they're all here tonight. Coach Marty Jambros, football coach at Gavitt, Hall of Famer here. Following him, Coach Rob Hansen. I had the pleasure of coaching football at Gavitt High School for a number of years with those guys. To George Malice from Hammond High School, who I had a great time coaching baseball with him for 5 years. To Russ Marcinek, who gave me a head high school baseball coaching job at Morton High School in 1996. Thank you for being here tonight. And again, just want to be so grateful for all you guys did for me in helping me to teach and learn how to coach kids and coach the sports that I coached under you. Our program started in 1991, actually the winter of 1990. My good friend Rich Blastic, who's also a Hammond Sports Hall of Famer, is here tonight. And with his help, we sat down and we asked the question, what if? What if we put together a bunch of guys and formed a summer program and try to get these kids exposure and take them outside of Hammond and go play baseball in all parts of the countries? What if? And 34 years later, it's still going. So I want to thank Rich for all his help. He's one of our first coaches, along with the late John Heino and Jaime Gutierrez, who was with our staff on that first year. Thank you, Rich, for helping us get this started. Our program was modeled under this. It provided a program for high school age kids that would provide them with the needed tools to help them get to the next level, college baseball. And with that, our practices were structured. Our motto was teach the game. We held players accountable. One of the big things of our program is as a team, we traveled, we stayed together, we were on road trips all the time together, we had team meals, and we wanted to create a team atmosphere, a family atmosphere among those players. And last but not least, we made sure we always had fun. We had a baseball field in Hammond, Riverside Park. We were there for almost 25 years. And there were some people that were very instrumental in helping us build that place. Starting with Butch Blevins, member of the Iron Workers Local. Butch was the guy who formed all the union trade guys and had them come out and donate their labor and time to get that thing going. And in 1993, we played our first game out there. That field was taken care of by some special people. Mike Selgin in the early days, I want to thank him for being here tonight and helping so much with that project. And the guys that were really special in helping me take care of that field, John Craig and Ken Schmidt. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for all the time and effort that you put into Riverside Park. It was a great home. In 2016, we lost our field, but I got a phone call from a guy. He's the most winningest coach in the state of Indiana for high school baseball. He's also a member of the Indiana High School Baseball Hall of Fame, Coach Dave Pishker, and he's here tonight. Coach, I want to thank you for making that phone call and basically saying, hey, I heard what happened. Our field is open in the summer. Would you like to play there? Just take care of it for us in the summertime. And we spent 8 years playing on that field and practicing there. So, Coach, thank you so much. Some contributors to our program, very special people. Dennis Radowski, Scott Bridges, Rick Kuna, for a number of years did all kinds of things for us. Bridges Scoreboard became kind of our headquarters for meetings and fundraisers and all those types of things. And I want to thank all of you for helping us with those types of things. And as Ryan mentioned, a good program needs a good super fan. And Tim Dobbins was that guy. For 34 years, that guy came with us around the country, came to local games, and I had the pleasure of escorting him around. What a pain in the you know what. But Dobbers, I love you, and I want to thank you for being so dedicated. You're such a great friend to all of our former players. And I know they also love you, Dobbers. Just a couple other things here. A good program needs good coaches. We were so fortunate to have so many good coaches over the years. And I want to recognize those guys tonight because they're all here. Coach Rich Blastic, Coach Dave Perez, Coach Jim Nohos, who was so instrumental in our 16-year-old Seminoles program and got those kids ready to play 17 and 18-year-old ball. Paul Savickas, Dave Hitchcock, John Novosel, Paul Wirtz, Mike Klage, Ryan Pishker, and Mike Small. And most recently, our coaching staff, who's all here, Jeff Rutherford, Jesse Forrester, and Brian Jennings. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. It wasn't my program, it was our program. And you guys made it all happen. Would you guys all please stand up just for a minute? And to one of my best friends, Brian Jennings. Can't tell you how many stories this guy could tell. If you want to hear some of them, go see him afterwards. But this was the guy that was with us for so long, and this is the guy I could turn to and say, hey, Brian, what do you think? And he'd say, Bush, don't do it. So, Brian, I want to thank you for all your years. I want to thank you for being here. Brian's also a member of the Indiana High School Baseball Coaches Hall of Fame. Thank you for being here. Now it comes to our players. A good program needs good players, not just talented players. There is a difference. Good players accomplish this through hard work, commitment, and dedication. That's what turns talented players into great players. We had those types of players. All our players who are here tonight, would you please stand? Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope to see a clap up later on. This is your award, players. I was just along for the ride. But what a great ride it's been. For the last 2 years, I've had the honor of serving as the Region Collegiate Baseball League Commissioner. I want to thank Ralph Flores for that. And I'm going to finish here tonight with just one story. We had a World Series team several years ago that was getting ready to go to the Babe Ruth World Series, and we were flying out of Chicago. And as our bus pulled up to the terminal, there was a big limousine in front of our bus. They were holding the NFL owners meetings in Chicago that year. And as we started to get out of the bus, this gentleman comes out of the limousine, comes up to our team and asks what type of a team we were. Told him we were a baseball team. And he congratulated us for going to the World Series. And he put his hand out to me. And on his hand, he had his big old Super Bowl ring. And he says, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys. Well, I had my Babe Ruth World Series ring on. I said, what the heck? Dave Sikowski, Hammond Chiefs. Thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor.
Congratulations, Dave, well deserved. And how about a big round of applause for all of our honorees tonight? Before we wrap things up here, we just want to say thank you to a couple of people, such as the Northwest Indiana Times, WJOB, Region Sports Nation. Thanks to the efforts of the Hammond Area Career Broadcast Media Class Partners. And how about the Hammond Central, Hammond High, Freudian slip, Hammond Central High School JROTC students. I'm going to close things out here with the colors very shortly. Our Hammond Sports Hall of Fame webmaster, Robert Teets, and all Civic Center and Hammond staff members who assisted in making tonight possible, did a great job decorating this beautiful facility. We look forward to seeing everyone at the Hammond Sports Complex next year for the 41st annual induction. And now I'd like to take care of one last bit of business and ask you all to please rise as the Hammond Central JROTC students retire the colors. Thank you, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you and good night.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Dave Werpel, your Hammond 5th District Councilman. Dave is a proud supporter of our local legends and the leading sponsor of tonight's Hammond Sports Hall of Fame live stream. Honoring our past, building our future, Councilman Dave Werpel. Thank you to Jason Gore, 1990 Hammond High graduate and candidate for Lake County Sheriff, for sponsoring live video coverage of the 2026 Hammond Sports Hall of Fame. For more information on the campaign, visit jasongoreforsheriff.com. Jason Gore, a better way for Lake County.
As days go by, the most important people in your life are here, now and always, to watch you grow, support you through the ups and downs, and to reach your goals. Trust People's Bank to be one of those relationships, guiding you through life's special moments, each event with their own financial need and desire. As you move forward, we remain by your side, a reliable partner in days gone by and in the future. People's Bank. Better banking keeps moving forward.
Have you heard? Stratton-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratton-Manteau.